Hi everybody, Dylan here. Story 13, episode 117, beginning part 2. She is talking about Taco going crazy barking at the porpoise that is checking out the dogs on the other boat, and how I am too small to see over the gunnels to look at that big fish. I really would have liked to have seen him. That's why I'm looking through this port. Ciao.
Taco just went crazy, barking his fool head off like somehow he could tear this big fish apart. Dylan, he's too small. He couldn't see over the gunnels. The only way I could see them was because I was on the sun deck. Wawa slept through the whole trauma. Wolfie was right in there with Taco trying to jump overboard to get at the humongous fish. I would have liked to see what that big fish would have done to them. Jazzy was on the sun deck with me wide-eyed.
From Yip and up, after leaving the anchorage, we headed out towards Matanzas Inlet. We were checking the engines every half hour. We had to make sure everything was operating properly since both engines had been totally rebuilt. The first day went well. We didn't go too far. As we had left late in the afternoon, we were also in the ICW, so the dogs did not get to experience any of what the boat felt like in a rough seaway. They were all happy. I had brought them all up to the wheelhouse. We ran the boat from up there. They were sleeping, begging to sit on our laps and playing with each other, hanging their heads out to see and smell everything going by. They like this better than the car ride. In the car ride, we go too fast, and the wind gets in their faces and it's too strong. Out here on the boat, the wind is just right. We made it to Daytona and anchored for the night. The next morning, we set out after watching the sunrise and coffee. Our plan was to stop at Titusville Anchorage for a few days. We had a friend who lived there. He has a car, so we could get a lift if we needed to. The trip down went fine. Once again, I brought all the dogs up to the wheelhouse, and they cruised along right by our sides. During this time, we had put the place in the forest up for sale. It sold the day we arrived in Titusville. We ended up staying there for 2 weeks, once again getting all our stuff moved. We gave everything to my sister Donna. We got all the paperwork sorted out, and we were now free of all land encumbrances. During our time in Titusville, our friend drove us to get our car in St. Augustine. We took the car to a friend's place in Sebastian, FL, our next stop. We didn't make it all the way to Sebastian. We stopped just north of there. The weather had turned ugly. Even though we were in the ICW, we knew that the Sebastian anchorage was really small and rough. We decided to wait until the next day when the weather had blown over. The nice thing about this part of the ICW is there are a bunch of spoil islands along the way. The islands are man-made, using the dirt left over from digging out the ICW. These are perfect places to let 8 dogs run free. They had a blast.
Hi everybody, Story 13, episode 117, and part 2. Yip is telling about the spoil islands that were built using the dirt that they dug out when they built the international waterway, and how small and rough Sebastian Anchorage can be, and how we didn't go there the first night because the weather was pretty bad. She also tells about how much fun the dogs had checking out the spoil islands since they didn't have to be on leads. Ciao.